So you want to start a gratitude journal. Great. Where do you even begin and how do you go about it? I'm going to share with you some choices you need to make, 2.5 steps you need to follow to create a gratitude journal, and a bunch of tips to maximize your chances of success with your gratitude practice. I'm Nicola, and my passion is helping parents and not yet parents release their stuff so they don't pass it on to their kids and repeat the cycle. And I've been finding ways to break my patterns of pain for over 25 years. So what exactly is a gratitude journal? Essentially, a gratitude journal is a place where you regularly record things that you appreciate about your life. I've been keeping a gratitude journal since November 2018, since I burned out at work, and it's completely shifted the way that I see the world. Why would you want to keep a gratitude journal? Essentially, keeping a gratitude journal allows us to counter that tendency, that human tendency to see the negatives in everything, our negativity bias. Instead, it helps us shift our focus from the negative to the positive. But also it helps us to identify what matters most to us, because that tends to be reflected in the things that we write in our gratitude journal. It also develops self-awareness, who we are and what matters. And we increase our optimism and our resilience through our gratitude practice. There are even scientific studies that show that having a gratitude practice increases our balanced perspective on what's happening in our life, and it gives us so many benefits to our well-being, our happiness, and our satisfaction. So to create a gratitude journal, you've essentially got 2 choices. The first choice you need to make is, how do you want to keep your gratitude journal? Do you want to keep it in physical format, or do you want to keep it in digital? So a physical format is basically a notebook and a pen, or scraps of paper or sticky notes, some physical thing that you write your gratitude statements on. And if you're doing digital, you're looking more at some kind of app or just writing it in a note on your phone. Personally, I use an app on my phone, and that's because it's really accessible for me. It's really easy for me to sit down at the end of the day and write my gratitude statements in that. But I'm interested to know about you. Do you think you're more of a digital or a physical type person? Let me know in the comments, because I'd really like to understand which format you think is actually going to work best for you for your gratitude practice, or if you've already got one, which format's working best for you so that we can learn from your experience. So the other choice that you need to make is routine. That is, where are you going to do this? When are you going to do this? How often are you going to do this? What time of day are you going to do this? Basically, all these choices and committing to a particular routine for this will help to increase the chances you stick with your gratitude practice. So think about that, make choices and commit to it, and then set up reminders. So whether that's leaving your physical notebook in a particular place so you see it when you walk past at a particular time of day, or having a reminder pop up on your phone to do your gratitude practice. Make sure you've got those cues in place to help you develop that habit of gratitude. So once you've made those choices about format and routine, then you have 2.5 steps. And I say 2.5 because the third step is kind of optional. But the very first step that you need to do when you are developing a gratitude practice is to notice things, is to develop that attitude of gratitude, to look at what's going on in your everyday occurrences and find the positives, whether they are entirely positive events, like I really like that bowl of ice cream, or I really like that hug I just had, or whether it's positive pieces of things that are happening to you. It's about noticing what's going on for you so that you can find things to appreciate in your day-to-day. And the second step is to capture those things in some form, because capturing those things helps to remind you and reinforce to you that positive things are happening to you on a regular basis. And I recommend taking a 3D approach when you are capturing these things: date, data, and details. So date is when this entry is being made, when this thing happened. The data is what happened, and detail is to really dig into the details, to be as specific as possible as you're capturing the details of what happened. And there's a nice 4A framework that I came across to help you find things to appreciate, to acknowledge, to admire, and to express affection. So to appreciate people or events, to acknowledge things, to admire others and what they bring to your experience, and to express affection towards people. And make sure that you include yourself in this exercise. It's not just about other people and other events, it's also about appreciating, admiring, and expressing affection for yourself. And the third step, which is entirely optional, is to review and reflect. So to look back over previous entries in your gratitude journal to find things, to actually look at what you have been noting over the time that you've been keeping a gratitude journal, to understand what is important to you, what tends to make you feel good. And it can be really interesting. Also, if you're having a bad day, it can be a great way to lift your mood. I don't tend to do this very often because I don't tend to enjoy going back to the past and digging into the past that often. But when I do, it's still interesting. And I've noticed that my gratitude journal gives me a sense of basically a diary. It's like a diary of sorts, but it's all the positive. It's a positive diary, if you like. So that's been really nice to at least understand all the positive things that have happened over the past 6.5 years as I've kept my gratitude journal. So now I want to share some really important tips with you to maximize your chances of success with your gratitude journal. And the number one thing here is to do whatever it takes to actually do the practice. That is the number one priority, is to make whatever choices you need to make to set it up in whatever way you need to set it up so that you actually do it. So we're not aiming for perfection here. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Whatever you decide is right for you is the right way to do it. Be as messy as you need to be. Don't put pressure on yourself to do it a certain way or to achieve a certain amount. And don't worry about minimums. You see a lot of people talking about doing 3 to 5 things every day. Like, yes, if you can, fantastic. But don't use that as a reason to feel like you're not doing it right and therefore stop doing it. When my husband started his gratitude practice, he set himself a goal of doing 10 a day on a perfect streak of every day. And the moment he fell off the bandwagon, it derailed his gratitude practice and he stopped it. So set yourself up for success by giving yourself flexibility in the boundaries and the guidelines and the rules that you create for yourself. Like I say, the number one priority is to actually do the practice. And along those lines, make it enjoyable. Whatever you need to do to make it something you want to do, you look forward to doing. If you've got a physical journal, maybe you want to decorate it. Maybe you've got a really nice journal or your favorite pen. Or maybe you have a particular app that you really like, or you like to sit in a particular chair while you do it. Or if you have rituals that you like to do, like maybe lighting a candle or lighting some incense. Whatever you can do to make that experience more enjoyable. But if it overcomplicates it, then back it up, make it simple. Remember, the aim here is to actually do it. So whatever makes it more enjoyable without getting in the way of doing it, then go for that. Think also about how to start your statements. You don't just have to start with, I'm grateful that, or I'm grateful for. You can mix it up. Again, no rules here, whatever works. You can say things like, I really enjoyed this. I'm really glad that. I'm looking forward to this. I'm really pleased with this. I really like that. Mix it up as much as you need to make it easier for those gratitude statements to flow. And make sure when you are writing that you focus on specifics, that we're going here for quality of statements, not quantity. So it's less important how many things you find to appreciate and more that you really tap into the details of those experiences. Because what we're trying to do here is connect with that feeling of gratitude and appreciation, bringing up that positive feeling. So going into the details can be really helpful with that. For example, rather than me saying, I really appreciate my husband, I could say something much more specific like, I really appreciate the lunch that he cooked for me yesterday, or I really appreciate the amazing plant stand that he made for me. I'm getting very specific, and it's so much easier in that process to tap into those positive feelings and bring up that as I write those statements. And that's the other thing I want to mention here, is that we're going for positive only. There are plenty of opportunities the rest of your day to experience negativity. What we're trying to do with our gratitude practice here is focus only on the positives. We're trying to bring up that positive feeling in us, and we're trying to look for things in our day to appreciate that help us access that feeling. And so forget the negatives for this exercise and focus just on the positives and how it feels to you. As you develop and continue your gratitude practice, you may find it getting a little bit stale and repetitive. You might find yourself saying the same thing every day or saying it in the same way. So make an effort to mix it up. Keep it fresh, keep it interesting. Get creative if you need to. Doodle in your journal. Do whatever you need to keep things changing and interesting so that it doesn't get dull and repetitive, because that really disconnects us from the feeling that we're going for here. So be creative. Change things up as much as you need to keep it interesting. And if you do get stuck, remember it's okay to put really small everyday things in your gratitude journal. They don't need to be big, earth-shattering things to appreciate. Anything that feels good to you is worthy of going in your gratitude journal. It could be, I really love this pen, or it could be I really appreciate my warm socks. It doesn't need to be big stuff. If it feels good, then it's worth going in there. So give yourself permission to look big and small when you're finding things to appreciate. And if you do skip a day, be kind to yourself. This is not about having a perfect record of having written a gratitude statement, or at least one every day for whatever period of time. Because what we don't want to do is for you to give up because you failed for one day. So if you do skip a day, just ignore it. Pretend it never happened, move on, pick yourself up and keep going, because the number one aim here is to actually do the practice. So just forget those skip days. Go, oh, well, I was busy, I was sick, whatever. I'm doing it today and I'm going to keep going. It's what you do 95% of the time that really matters in this exercise. If you do get stuck also and you don't know what to write, some people like to use categories. So you might say, today I'm going to write all about my relationships and the people in my life, and tomorrow I'll write all about health. Or you might say, today I'm going to write one about relationships, one about health, one about work, one about finances. You can use categories to help stimulate ideas and get the juices flowing for things to appreciate. And you might also use gratitude prompts. And I've got a guide with over 60 different gratitude prompts that you might want to download just to help you get started as you find things to appreciate and different ways you can express that appreciation in your gratitude journal. So I'd like to understand, have you started a gratitude journal? Or what's stopping you? What is getting in the way of you actually launching into this exercise? I really want to understand the blocks that are preventing you from developing your gratitude practice. And it will also help other people know. So let me know in the comments so that we can understand that they're struggling with the same things that you're struggling with. And we can all help each other develop and succeed with our gratitude practice. And as you make those two choices about format and your routine, and you follow those 2 steps of noticing and capturing, you will start to develop that gratitude practice. And the question is, how soon do you get those benefits? Remarkably soon. You really do start getting to those positives very quickly, and you will start to see those things happen in your life. You will develop that optimism, that positive focus. Your resilience will improve. You will develop that self-awareness about what matters most to you, and you will get more things to be grateful for. And that's really nice, because the more you appreciate, the more you see things to appreciate, and it becomes a snowball, and you really do get that positive experience in your life. So make sure you download that guide with all those gratitude prompts to really help you succeed with your gratitude practice. And if you'd like to learn a way to get even more better feelings into your life right here, right now, watch this video next, and I'll see you in the next one.